Hello, Dr. Lewis here. Now, one of the reasons why we partake a fast or why we fast is because we want to handle hunger. However, one of the major reasons why people break a fast again is hunger. So in today's video, we want to address hunger and to understand hunger so that we know how to perceive it and how to beat these hunger pangs that happen during fasting. I also want you to understand that when you feel hungry during a fast, basically your intrinsic and your external environment are not at par. That means your body was used to breaking down what you eat to give you energy. And now it has to shift from sourcing energy from food to breaking down the fat or the storage form of energy, which is fat and glycogen. So in this video, we are going to help you understand fasting during hunger and how to go about it when it happens so that you complete your fast and benefit from that fast. So if you want to partake a healthy fast, the number one thing that you're supposed to avoid are triggers. So what are the triggers that will lead you to breaking a fast or that will destroy your healthy fasting? Number one, if your home, you have a good kitchen and that kitchen is loaded with food, then chances are high that anytime you walk into that kitchen, then you will be tempted to eat the food that is in the kitchen or your refrigerator. That does not mean that you should not stock your kitchen or you should not stock your refrigerator with healthy foods. That only means you need to try as much as possible to avoid the kitchen area. However, this gets tough for those people who cook for their families and those who do cooking as a profession, basically the chefs. So it becomes hard or even complicated with these two types of groups. However, the ones who cook for their families, it can be easier because you just anticipate that this coming weekend you're going to fast, or this coming Tuesday you're going to fast. Then what you do is you prepare a lot of food that will serve your family for those 2 or 3 days. Then now what they have to do is just to boil or just to heat that food and consume it. That will help you avoid the kitchen and help you go through your fast. For the chefs, you will deserve or you will need a lot of discipline for you to go through a fast, because remember, that smell, that food that is always at your disposal will tempt you into eating. And also remember, if you're serving in a restaurant, when these people are eating, you might be tempted to eat because again, that triggers your hunger. Now, this comes from the Pavlov's conditioning, because this is a psychological thing. So Pavlov's conditioning is where an experiment was run on dogs, and when you ring a bell, dogs start to survive it, because when you ring a bell, you give these dogs food. So the issue is, these dogs, when you ring a bell, even without providing food, they start to salivate because they know that food is available. And this is the same psychology that happens to human beings and food. So you'll realize that time that you feel hungry, that's another trigger. When you feel hungry, when you eat at 2 p.m., for instance, that is your lunch hour. When you eat at that moment in time, anytime you go past that hour, you will not feel hungry. But during that hour, it gets complicated. You will feel so much hungry. But I want you to also understand that on point number 2, we will talk about hunger being a wave. Okay? So that will tell you if it's a wave, then after that time has elapsed, then it's easier for you to go through it. So that is number 1. So avoid triggers by all means. You can avoid the kitchen. Some of you eat in their cars. So if you have food in your car, you can avoid it. You can throw that food away or give it out. Also, most of you have foodstuffs in the offices. In your workplace, you're being served meals after 3 hours. You have breakfast at 7. You have a tea break at 10. You have lunch at 1. You have 4 o'clock tea. Then you have maybe your dinner. So if you have such kind of work environments, then it becomes even harder for you to get through fasts. However, these are the same people who, when they go through a fast, they become strong enough and they'll be teaching us about fasting, because these are the people who have a strong mindset. And believe me, hunger is all in your mind. Hunger is not the emptiness of your stomach. So you can control it. So number 2, basically before I even move to number 2, if you avoid all those and try to circumvent your route against them, then you'll survive the fasting. So number 2, I want you to know that you cannot learn to do away with hunger if you don't understand hunger. So you need to understand hunger, then anticipate it. Okay? Know that at this moment in time, because of several reasons, I will feel hungry. So if I'm fasting, then I will feel hungry. I'm tempted to feel hungry when I'm fasting because my body is now shifting from what I used to eat. And before it adapts to the new mechanisms of breaking fat to give me healthy energy, then I'll have some hiccups here and there. So if you avoid hunger and then anticipate it, it will be easier for you to go through it. Because when that time comes, let's say your lunch hour, you can read a chapter of a book, you can go for a walk, you can tell a story, and all these are aimed at helping you to just get past that hour. So understand that hunger is just a wave. It comes and disappears. Okay, so it will disappear eventually. The only thing you need to do, you need to occupy yourself or preoccupy yourself during that hour that hunger is striking in. Okay, and then focus your mind on something else. Just a simple distraction, and then about 10 to 30 minutes, that hunger wave disappears. And once it disappears, then you'll be good to go. So remember, fasting is supposed to help us understand how to kill hunger, then develop good eating and food discipline, eating habits and both food discipline. So once you have these two, then nothing becomes impossible. Then the reason number 3, you should build healthy habits. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because healthy habits include reading. They include taking walks and exercise, light exercise, relaxation techniques like yoga, okay, and building friendships. So all this will help you fight hunger, and also avoiding friends who always are up to hanging out and eating in restaurants, going for movies, because these are the places where we eat involuntarily. We eat popcorns in movies. Those are simple carbohydrates. We eat processed foods in hotels and restaurants. We hang out with people in places that we eat meals that are so unhealthy, and therefore, one of the groups, the one group of people that will help you survive healthy living is either your family and your friends. So if you don't have a circle that totally wants to benefit from healthy living, or just want to ignore, and they think you're obsessed, or they think you're even possessed when you start fasting, if that is your circle, then just understand that it will be very hard for you to fast. So you need to build a circle of people and friends who totally share the same goals. They want the same goals from healthcare. And these are the people who will help you develop habits. If you've never read a book that is called Atomic Habits, then you need to go and read that book, because that book helps you understand how small habits and consistent habits will build up a very huge form of discipline and even behavior. So a change in behavior, adapting healthy habits during fasting is very important. And if at all it's getting hard, when you get hungry, just remember that there are things that you can do, because during a fast, we partake sugarless green tea, we take it. We also take sugarless black coffee. We can take water with apple cider vinegar. So these are things that are supposed to help you go get over this. So if you take green tea, has been proven to suppress hunger, even if it's a minimal level. At a minimal level, it will help you suppress hunger. So if you take a cup of green tea, then that wave just disappears. Same to coffee. It will rejuvenate your mind. You'll start being active, and then you forget about the hunger. So also just always remember that hunger is a mindset and not an emptiness of the stomach. So if you do this, if you build these healthy habits, no eating in the cars, no more going for movies and eating in the movies anyhow, no eating sweets and chewing gums, then this will make your system adapt to the new mechanism of breaking fat to give you energy. And therefore, it's only good that every person fasts. 1 meal a day is good for those who can do that, but a maximum of 2 meals a day without snacking and just taking water is healthy for you. Also, hunger can be suppressed by just taking salt in water. So you're drinking water, you just dilute it with salt, dilute salt in your drinking water and take it. That will help you avoid low blood pressure. That will help you avoid those headaches and muscle cramps. And also it will suppress your sugar cravings. Therefore, it will help you do away with hunger. So those are just the 3 ways that you can handle your hunger during fasting. So number 1, avoid the triggers. Then number 2, build healthy habits that will help you go around hunger. And number 3, understand that hunger is a mindset and it's a wave. So once it comes, it will just disappear. So keep going. Fasting is a healthy way of living. It's part of the healthy keto. It's part of exercise. It's part of the sun and sleep. So fasting is part of that cycle of healthy living. So embrace it.